Hello, everybody. Good start. It is Connor. We're back here with another video. Yes, I am wearing a Dortmund top. I know this is going to aggravate a lot of people. I am a Leeds United supporter. I do enjoy wearing football tops. So I know I have to address this straight away because people then, how do you wear other football tops when you're a Leeds fan? I just do, everybody. It's more European tops and it's a bit of a hobby of mine. So yes, I am wearing a Dortmund top. Yeah, apologies for that if you are offended by that one, but it is what it is. But how are we doing, everybody? Hope you're all doing fantastically well. As I said, it's Connor. We're back here. We're back at the apartment, which is great stuff. I've not been able to get back quickly enough. I've got a sofa coming today, so it's chaos at HQ here. So I thought I'd get a stream in. We've got the debrief tonight. We've got Brownie coming on tomorrow. We've got KG coming on tomorrow. We've got Nancy coming on Friday. It is absolutely wild over here at One Leeds, and you're getting all of it for free, everybody. But if you would like to help out the channel, there's merch in the description below. There's Patreon, which we have articles on there. We have videos on there, podcasts, all that sort of stuff as well. So we go hard over there, everybody. Pause. But I hope you're all doing fantastically well in the chat. Let me know what's going on. Morning, Connor. Morning, Mark. Morning, Lee. Connor, the guy that supports multiple teams. I wish I did, mate. Trust me, I wish I did support multiple teams. My mindset would be a lot easier. You know, I was out last night with my old man having a few beers. Obviously, you guys know my old man from the Patreon and stuff, and a few clips on YouTube. We were having a chat and we were saying, look, it'd be great, wouldn't it? It'd be great to be able to just switch off from Leeds United and do our own thing and support another football club. It'd just be nice, wouldn't it? Wouldn't life be a lot easier? It definitely would. Okay, I know there's a lot of you guys in the chat as well saying, come on, Connor, give us some good news. We're going to be speaking all around Leeds United and all that sort of stuff. But morning, everybody. Hope you're all doing fantastically well. Apologies for the late settings as well here. As I said, I was coming all the way back from Yorkshire, so it's been a bit of a mooch. Some potential good news for Leeds United today. And it is surrounding Manuel Benson. Sasha Tavaleri says that Manuel Benson is about to leave Burnley this summer. Talks on a permanent move are currently taking place with huge interest. It'd be nice if this bit was taken out and then it was just with Leeds United. That'd be nice. Sunderland and Norwich also on it as well. Personal terms won't be a problem. Obviously, Benson, we know, has been unbelievable for Burnley previously. If you want to know the source as well, Sasha is pretty decent, to be honest with you, and reports across Europe as well. It's not just a Leeds United thing or a sort of a localized thing either. So he's probably the major news that we've seen today when it's come to Leeds United. It's only recently came out literally about a second ago, actually, and. Do I like Benson? I think he's highly talented, and I do wonder now, with 2 weeks left of the window, if the whole wait and see thing has just almost come to the fore, really, and Leeds aren't really able to do what they maybe wanted to do. What do we know about Manuel Benson? He's talented, he's versatile, he brings like a combination of pace. I'm trying to think of what I've seen of him: creativity, a work rate. Obviously, played under Vincent Kompany's Burnley in the Championship and was unbelievable that season. He's still young. He's at a good age, and soccer AM reference there. But yeah, he's at a good age, and he's definitely someone who, with 2 weeks to go, as Elliot said, he's got a bit of an injury list, but it's probably what they're looking at now. You know, it wouldn't surprise me, and I think that's where it has to be. You know, that's what we have to be looking at in terms of profiles. Jack Clark won't happen. Would you forsake Leeds spending money on a central midfielder, on a left back, or whoever else would be coming in to put 20-25 million into Jack Clark? That's a conversation that we've got to have. I don't think I would do that. Would Leeds spend that money? No, I don't think they would. But as I've said, everybody, is it right for Leeds to essentially drive away any sort of money that they would have for any other positions to put it all into Jack Clark? For me, days thinking about it, and at the time I'd have loved to have said it. I'd have loved to have turned around to you guys and said, yeah, 100%. I'd have loved to us to sign Jack Clark for that amount of money. I just don't think it's realistic. I don't think it's realistic. And would you forsake that? There's a definite question there as well. Daryl's in the building. Hi, Daryl. Thank you for your support, mate. He says 630 watch, 133 likes. Come on, guys. Smash a like. Really would appreciate that, guys. You want the lives, and the lives have been this month. I've listened to what you guys have said. We're touching on 800,000 views in the last 28 days. And the reason I've been, they've gone up and up and up is because I've been doing the live stream. So it's been represented by you guys. And I've been really trying to up that content because I know you guys really enjoy that. We've got the debrief coming tonight as well, which is another live stream, and then 2 more live streams tomorrow. So let's hope we can have a little bit more positive news, but slap a like on it. Clark's Rolling Wolf says Clark has hit the ceiling for further transfers. Jay has said Benson is a decent player, but feels like he wasn't the first choice. Just how Perot wasn't the first choice. Feels uninspiring, to be honest. Hexoy says take that top off. Nope. And I'll see you later, mate. But yeah, so that's what we're looking at right now. We're looking at a scenario where with Benson, it seems. Look, we'll hear the party line of that was the choice all along. But if that was the choice all along, why wasn't that done right at the beginning when Benson's been twerking for a move out of Burnley from the very beginning? I don't know. But then the desperation is, everybody, is if we did Jack Clark for 25 million or even 18 and above, that's going to stink of desperation, as well as I can see a lot of you saying in the chat as well. So I don't massively think that's going to benefit us from either side of it. There's nowhere. It feels like for a lot, there's fans as well. There's nowhere sort of we can win here. But listen, for fullback targets, there are definitely targets out there. Could be potential for an Aaron Hickey loan if his minutes are a little bit restricted at Brentford. Competition there in the ranks as well between our fullbacks and someone like Aaron Hickey. There are players like Callum Styles, who I've always massively rated. He came onto the scene very, very, very popular at Barnsley and would play everywhere. So versatile, centre midfield. He played right back, he played right wing, he played left back. So I think someone like Callum Styles would be a perfect option for Leeds United as in that reserve. And I actually think he could probably play himself into the first team as well. I know he's an option at this moment in time for West Bromwich Albion, but by goodness, that would be a fantastic option for Leeds United, in my opinion. The fullbacks, we mentioned Josh Doig before, but the fullback region should be very gettable for Leeds United. It should be very, very easy for us to do that. But I also think you've got to be able to spread that wealth. You've got to be able to spread it in and around the squad in terms of, that money that we have. And what else do we know from Georginio Rutter now? Well, that signing, which what I'll say, it's a 2-pronged comment, everybody. But the first prong of the comment is please don't get upset about Georginio Rutter. Let's not get upset about Georginio Rutter. And the reason I'm saying that is because a lot of people would, with the signing announcement yesterday, because Brighton did it in and around Leeds' famous, awful deadline day in 2014 of the social media post, we're now seeing a selection of Leeds fans saying, F-U-C-K, Georginio Rutter. I hate you, Georginio Rutter. And it's like, how are you that rattled by that? I was more doing it tongue in cheek last night, but fair play to Brighton for getting us like that. And listen, that's the advantage of being a club that they are. The club that they are is a Premier League club, and they're able to asset strip teams like Leeds United. And at the end of the day, then bringing in Georginio Rutter and probably O'Reilly as two is staggering, and just shows the distance between us and the Premier League and some of those competitive teams in the lower half, as I was saying yesterday. So, but yeah, the Georginio Rutter thing is something that was interesting last night in terms of social media posts. Rutter will have known nothing about it, everybody. I don't think the 49ers would know anything about a social media deadline day post in 2014. So don't get so sort of like upset at that. I'd suggest, just carry on with that. But what I would say, you can get upset about, Leeds United fans, is maybe the fact that we haven't got any sell-on when it comes to money that goes to Hoffenheim. That's what we figured out the other day, according to some of our key local journalists, that there's no sell-on clause. I think it was Baron Cross who mentioned it. What does that mean? Well, that means that Leeds pocket pretty much, the majority of the fee. So does that mean that we still don't spend money and we just have raked in all that money over the summer? I don't know. That's a question that is going to be, answered on the last day of the deadline when we discuss this, and how far this has got, because it does feel like at this moment in time we are we're a little bit upset with how it's going, but yeah. as I say, that's probably the big news when it comes to Benson. We know that Johnny Rowe is probably going to Marseille. That seems to have reignited a little bit. And yeah, I think it's a really fascinating conversation to have about where Leeds are going to go here, because there's still time. We keep getting told that there's still time. So, okay. I'll sit here, drink my yerba mate and just relax, I guess. And that's what we've got to do. I texted someone key last night and they texted me back and said, just there's still time. There's still a lot of time. So 10 days left, people. 10 days left. And then we can make an assumption. Am I panicking a little bit? Yeah, I am. I am panicking a little bit. I was very calm and assured by it. And 10 days is still a big time. We got 5 deals done in 5 days last summer. But what I will say about this is, and I've said this on multiple streams as well, clubs know that we're coming now. Clubs know that we're going to be shelling money. We've got money, and they're going to be raising these premium prices. And if you do stuff early in the window, let's say a Benson, it's probably going to be a lot cheaper for you, I'd say. And common logic would suggest that it's going to be a lot cheaper for you. Now we've sold players like we have, and we've made those moves, and we've thought that is the right move for Leeds United. We have a lot of money now, a lot of money at our disposals, or at least clubs think that we do. So we'll have to wait and see. Matt says, will we get 4 or 5 players in? Maybe 2. I think there's going to be a few panics, mate. I think there's going to be a few panics when it comes to Leeds. But I've always sort of maintained that. I don't know why. Maybe it just takes me to yesteryear and hopefully I'm wrong. But I feel like it's going to be 1 permanent and maybe 1 or 2 loans. That's how I think it's going to be. I know Daniel Farker with what he was saying in terms of he just wants permanence. Well, it's not really realistic. And the problem with what Leeds have done right now is they've left it right to the very end. That could be a positive in terms of players being left out of squads, but also it could be a negative because teams don't want to lose players. And Leeds aren't really in an advantageous position when it comes to where we are division-wise and where we are, obviously, when it comes to some of our key players going out. But what we did figure out from Baron Cross the other day is that Willie Nonso hasn't handed in a transfer request, which is really good news. Things can change, guys, towards the back end of the window, as we know. As we know. So I wouldn't be too, assured in the fact that he's not handed in a transfer request. Things can change. Everton can panic. Other teams on the continent can panic. Premier League clubs can panic. Nonso can have a good game, an absolute worldy game against Sheffield Wednesday. Can score a hat-trick, could score a couple. Hat-trick, a hat-trick, then an assist or whatever. I'm getting ahead of myself here, but you get what I mean, everybody. Then you can get a panicky Premier League coming in and going, he's too good for that division, as everybody knows anyway, and take him away from us. And then, you are literally trying to replace the Swiss Army knife of our attack and the Avengers when it comes to this Leeds United side. So, yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot to discuss, definitely. I've seen this, and with the greatest of respect, I'm not going to give any airtime to that. Yeah. It's the not knowing that does my head in. Kent is coming to play. Yeah, he's not, mate. I don't think Ryan Kent's coming to Soldier. Connor, whoever told you, HMS, you know what the league, please. Yeah, well, they are sticking by the confidence that they have in the days left, and that's all I can relate to you guys. I've always said you can believe it or you can't believe it. I don't really mind. I come on this channel. It's my community. I'm very proud to have built up what I've got right now. Proud, nearly standing at 35,000 subscribers, and I know a hell of a lot of you tune in every single day to hear what I say. If I have worked this hard and been able to establish a few contacts over the years, that is amazing. Now, if it is on the record, I can come to you guys. I can give you a little bit when it's off the record, but not as much as maybe you potentially know. And some people seem to get angry at that, and that's fine. I'm not saying I'm an ITK, but you will, with any fan channel, you will build up contacts, and I'm quite lucky enough to have been in the journalism world for years beforehand as well. So I've been able to develop that when it comes to a few contacts as well. So yeah, that's more off the record stuff, but not that, it's been bleak when it's come to Leeds. It has to be said. So we are just going on the national journalists for a lot of this, really. Okay, Jonathan says, hello, pals. I'm an Everton fan. Bobble, our Everton insider has said Bobble's agent back contact with Everton and they push in, move, no bid from us. Presumably that's regarding Everton and Willie Gnonto. Yeah, it doesn't surprise me that Gnonto's potentially arcing a move out. It doesn't surprise me whatsoever. And will he try arc a move out towards the back end of the window? Yeah, but he might be happy. We just don't know. We're speculating with what happened last season. And you can't base it all on last season, but you do feel like Willie's always been sort of arcing for that move away. But it was interesting when Everton obviously got Lindstrom from Napoli, I believe it was. You felt that those links sort of died off a little bit. And you do look at the wing options, and there's some decent ones there. Josh says, is Benson any good, Connor? He is, mate. Yeah, he is. He is. I think injuries have plagued him a little bit. But as I've mentioned, creativity, pace. He can play in multiple positions. You can put him in the 10, put him left, put him right. He's a good option for Leeds, but I'd say he's a good option. You know, he's a good option who is a match winner at this level as well. He's definitely a match winner, which is positive because we've not got enough of those, and we haven't got enough techie players. You take Gnonto out of there, and the rest of them aren't. So yeah, he's a good option, mate. He's a good option. Is he of the level of Crysencio Somerville and Rutter in terms of impact? No, he's not. But yeah, he's a decent option. Decent option. Daryl says, and rightfully deserved, mate. You do a great job. Thank you, Daryl. Really appreciate it, mate. Obviously, it's a different perspective, isn't it, mate? It's a different perspective. Seamus, hi, Seamus. Presumably some Irish connects in there, mate, especially with Seamus O'Neill. It could be more Irish than my name. Connor, do you think it's arrogance or ignorance by the 49ers with a lack of communication? They must be aware of the unrest after Archie. Yeah, we deserve some respect. And Seamus, they came out, didn't they? They came out after all that saga and said we were sort of in a good position. I think the lack of communication, I understand because they're trying to get signings. The problem with what they're doing is other sources will always tell you. It just will happen. Other sources from other clubs will always tell you if we're after a signing or not. So it's never really going to be hush-hush. Albeit, I will say, you know, the Rothwell deal came out of nowhere. Bogle was very, very late, but it all started coming out from the Sheffield United end. It could have been hijacked at any point, couldn't it? You know, but Rothwell was probably the one this season that we've looked at and gone, oh, okay. But I think, you know, with the Kamara deal in particular, you know, we were speaking about it last night. They've sold Kamara, and you think, why? You know, why? What was the point in selling Kamara, really? You know, I was of the opinion that when you sold Kamara, they were going to bring in sort of a central midfielder with that money. Brought in Rothwell on loan. I like Rothwell. I think he's actually going to be a really good addition for us this season. You know, we're only 2 games in. But I do look at that sign and think, you know, why was that done? You know, Jubicic is an interesting one. We keep talking about him. I think that's probably one that they're going to get done. But is Jubicic what we need? You know, we spoke about him being an attacking midfielder on this show before, but you actually go back and do a little bit of research on Jubicic because I don't profess to know that much about Jubicic. I'm not going to be fake on here and say I know everything about him. But you actually look at his transfer march, you look at his FB ref, you look at all the detail behind him, just simple searches online. He doesn't get that many goals. You know, he's not got that many goals in his career. He is a little bit more of a central midfielder. We've got a few of those profiles now, and we need an attacking body, don't we? We need an attacking number 8, you know. But I'm a little bit disappointed. I think there's gettable assets. You know, I keep speaking about us going for the continental players. And we haven't really done that yet. You know, your Elias Shares, your Ben Ramas, your Buendias, your Samu Saiz, players like that coming from elsewhere are absolute gems. You really can get players like that, you know, unearthed, who can dominate this level when it comes to technicality. And you look at the players produced from Holland, Netherlands, I should say, in recent years, Spain. There are players out there, even in the 2nd division over there. You look at and you go, they'd be absolutely perfect. You know, you look at Bundesliga 2, of which Jubicic will be in now. But, you know, Tanaka we've spoken about before, haven't we? But the talent that they have down there, you know, maybe a little bit more physicality when it comes to the German Bundesliga 2, probably similar to the Championship in that respect. But when you look at those lower divisions and even the top divisions, when they don't want certain personnel, you look at the technical level of some of those Spanish players, and they just would fit in perfectly here. And I just hope at some stage that Miles is going to pull a rabbit out of a hat. He's been here since February. This was supposed to be his wheelhouse in terms of coming in, and for all those months looking at what Leeds need and how we, you know, the eventualities, because they would have had to have surely looked at an eventuality of Rutter going and Somerville going and Gnonto going and have a list of players of which could be called on, you know, from the continent or domestically. So, yeah, I think the ignorance and arrogance, I think it just comes from a place of trying to keep things in-house and safe from the media. They've been burnt. Yeah, I can tell you that for a fact. They were burnt previously massively, obviously, when they were associated with Rads and everything been leaked out, and it just been an absolute you-know-what show. But I think the breakdown when it comes to the local journalists, I think, is a big problem, and they need to address that for me. Bradley says, Connor, when we're going to see content creators versus Leeds legends at Ellen Road? Imagine the link-up play between you and Joe as Michael Bridges presses you in midfield. I don't think I could, mate. I'm way too competitive when it comes to football as well. Way too competitive. That'd be a bit of a problem for me, I think. Brett says you put in the time and day, Connor, which we always appreciate. Smash the likes. And yeah, if you would, everybody, that'd really mean a lot. And we're going to have loads of content out today and throughout the week. So thank you so much, mate. I really appreciate it. Who would you play in the 10 on Friday, mate? And I wanted to talk on this. So thank you so much, Daryl, for bringing this up, mate. Who would I bring? Who would I, let me just open this window. That should be a little bit better. But who would I play in the 10? Yeah, I'd be putting Nonto there. So the reason I do that is because you need your more technical players down the middle. Daniel Farker enjoys building up vertically. I put Rothwell at the base, and then I put Nonto in the 10. That's what I'd be doing. And what I want is everybody to hold. Okay, as I take a sip, you've got to hold. The reason I'm saying that is because the expectation, even with the team now, because even if we brought in a player today and tomorrow, they wouldn't be registered for Friday. Expectation is we go to Sheffield Wednesday and we win. And even if Wednesday beats Sunderland at the weekend, the expectation is to go there and win. And let me just, I've just got to put the microphone down, everybody, but let me show you why. Let me show you why. So this is what I want us to focus on here quite heavily. So if I just share my screen now, and I just have a little look at the Sheffield Wednesday lineup versus, let me just get rid of these tabs. Tabs annoy the absolute life out of me. The side versus Sunderland. Beadle, Valerie, Iorfa, Bernard, Max Lowe, Barry Bannon, Ingleson, Gassama, Windass, Lowe, Masaba. On the bench, you've got Ugbo, Marvin Johnson, Michael. Are we getting the drift there, everybody? Are we getting the drift? Or you look at Leeds United side, Bogle, Rodon, Strauch, Firpo, Rothwell, Ampadu, Nonto, hopefully in the 10, James, Perot, even if you want to throw Aronson in there, whatever, Joseph up front. I am going to Sheffield Wednesday, as I did against West Bromwich Albion, expecting Leeds United to win. It's on the coach and on the players, of course. I don't want anything on this channel, and again, it's subjective, but I know you're all smart up there. What I don't want you all to do is start thinking a point's good enough, because we know what's going to come out afterwards. We know what's going to come out afterwards if we do get a point. That Leeds United team is on a different tier to Sheffield Wednesday. Is this their second year in this division? It's our second year out the Premier League. Okay? That squad that we have is manufactured from the Premier League. Okay? It is. It's manufactured from the Premier League when it comes to wage structure, who we've brought in, etc., etc. Sheffield Wednesday's squad is nowhere near on the same level as Leeds United's. Football's not played on paper, but quality should show in a game like this. Yorkshire Derby, Daniel Farker can kickstart the season by really putting a marker down, and he should put a marker down. And I will not accept, because Rutter's gone, Somerville's gone, and Gray's gone, and Kamara, especially Rutter, obviously right now, that we shouldn't be beating Sheffield Wednesday and it's a 50-50 game. The only thing that splits that game at the weekend could be Danny Roll. If Danny Roll is able to coach that Sheffield Wednesday side to beat that Leeds United side or even draw against that Sheffield Wednesday side, Daniel Farker's failed, because that squad man for man is miles better than that Sheffield Wednesday squad. So that's my talk. Even you put Nonto in the 10, Rothwell at the base. That's quality. Joseph up top. That spine, Rodon, Strauch, that spine is very, very decent at this level. I've mentioned it's top 6. I think with the squad right now, we get into top 6, but it's better than Sheffield Wednesdays. So I'm expecting a win. I'm expecting us to beat Sheffield Wednesday because all I heard from Farke after West Bromwich Albion, and okay, fine, was we went there to be pragmatic. We defensively set up against them. Fine. Okay, you don't want to go try win the game. That's fine. You got the point. The 49ers, we can talk about the transfers, but when you're talking about what's on the pitch, I'm expecting us to beat Sheffield Wednesday on Friday. Because at some point, we've got to start the season, everybody. At some point, we've got to really look at what's going on here and think, well, at some point, Daniel, you have to pick up 3 points, mate. We're going to have to turn this home form round, obviously, which is going to be coming up against Hull City soon. You know, got to start getting points on the board. And when I say points, I mean 3 points. Remy. Yeah, but it's interesting letting the let's tell you what, let's gauge it on the chat. We'll get a little poll going because I know you guys enjoy the polls. So I'm going to get a poll going now, and I want you guys to let me know if you think it's a is it a must win for Daniel Farke with what's going on at this moment in time? Is it a must win? So get your thoughts in. So let me know in the comment section below. However, what I will say, everybody, is it can be quite extreme when you say must win, because I think people take must win and they think he's sacked, you know, which I don't think that's going to happen. So that's where it's not a must win. But is it a must win in terms of the standard set, the expectation set? I think it is. I think it is. And he's got 2 wins in 13 now. 2 wins in 13. One more time. 2 wins in 13. So we can have a look at the 49ers at the end of the window. But right now, when we've got Wednesday and Hull coming up, 6 points minimum for me. So see, Nigel said must not lose. So Nigel, the temperature for that for me, mate, is you saying that a draw would do. It's fair. It's interesting, man. It's interesting to see the gauge. It is interesting. Interesting. Aaron, I'd be interested to see why you don't think that this is the case. And I've heard this a lot, mate. And I don't hammer you for having a different opinion. I think you're wrong. I think you're really wrong. But I don't understand why. I don't understand why. Man for man, as we've mentioned before, every one of our players gets into every team in that playoff picture for me. Or nigh on every player. Take out Melier, probably take out maybe Peru, but Peru literally gets in every other side. Maybe a certain manager would get a certain tune out of Joel Peru. You know, that's what we've got to talk about as well. But Leeds' side's really good. Just because Rutter and Somerville have been stripped from this side, it's still more than good enough. More than good enough. We have a very, it's a very narrow squad. But how many more excuses are we going to put up? It's a narrow squad, of course, and I think we will add. I think that's going to happen. But the starting 11 and a couple of players on the bench are good enough. You know, you make, 3 subs in a game, really, invariably, Daniel Farke. 3 subs. You look at it overall, the 2 of the 3 are normally pretty decent subs as well, quality-wise. It's only about the timing of the substitutions from the manager. And the actual starting 11 is pretty decent. Shout out to Aaron, become a new member. Shout out to you, my friend. Thank you so much. I think that's it as well, Chabsy. I think it's my opinion, and clearly Chabsy's and others as well. I think there's a bit of an overrating of this division. It's a good standard. You know, you look at Coventry, you look at Sunderland, etc., etc. But even with these top championship sides, of which I did put Sunderland 15th, that might still happen. Looking unlikely now. But the top caliber championship sides, Leeds are better squads. Or Leeds are better starting 11, man for man. All day, every day. I wouldn't be taking their squads. If you ask me right now, would you take Sunderland's squad over? No. Would you take Coventry's squad over? No. No way. Yeah, a lot of these teams would die for you, Joel Perus, would die for you, William Jonsos, would love someone like Matteo Joseph. They would. Absolutely love it. So, yeah, that's my thoughts on it anyway. We did one yesterday, mate, on Daniel Farke, but I'll just take a gauge of the comments. Yeah, 83% of you guys saying that it's almost a must win in a lesser term, because he's not going to get the sack. Of course he's not. But yeah, it's a must win in a lesser term in terms of the pressure will be very, very much on him. And from me as well, 100%, because it's an away game against a side who've barely been in the Championship for a set amount of years and have a very average, below average squad with a very good manager. So it's going to be interesting on Friday. And I think I'm more interested. In how Farke approaches it afterwards. Because what we do know about Daniel is he never takes accountability. Yeah. So what I would say is I think we'll win the game. I do think we'll win the game. I think we'll go 2-0 and we'll do more stuff closer to the time. But I will also say I'm really interested to hear Daniel Farke if it doesn't go our way. Bradley, top man Bradley, thanks for your content. You bring us all, mate. From the simple things to listening to your vids when I'm trying to sleep to driving to work, you give me something every day to listen to. Bradley, we're in the same boat, mate. I'm a bit of an odd one to get to sleep. Listening to me whilst you're trying to get to sleep must be a bit mental. But I do that as well, mate. It's a bit weird, isn't it? I do that as well. I have my favourite podcast on and try to drift off. But I love doing these. It's the perfect job for me. I absolutely love doing it. So thank you all for your fantastic support. I am in the green when it comes to my analytics at the minute. Subscribers up, watch hours up, views up, everything. So thank you so much because you're clearly really enjoying the content. All the discussions that we're having and we strive to get better and better on the channel and it will be coming even sooner than you think. Squad as it is missing key profiles. That's the issue for me. I felt the same last season. Squad is a top 6 squad as it is, but that's not good enough for where we should be. Jay, you bang on the money, mate. You bang on the money. I said at the beginning of the season, we should be top 2. We should be champions. We should be champions with what we had. Then we lost Somerville. Then we lost Rutter, which changes the conversation. Last week with Rutter, I was still saying top 2. Now Rutter's gone. It's not top 2. It's not. But the team right now is more than good enough to beat Sheffield Wednesday and Hull City. And I want the barometer to be key here, everybody. The barometer has to be set because we know what's coming after the game if we get a draw. It was a good point. They've had a really good start. Nah. No. With a team with that on in the starting 11 when you've got Windass, Barry Bannon, Jamal Lowe is it up top, who's been a championship, sort of journeyman for a while now, even though he's still quite young, isn't he? Relatively young. There's no excuse. No excuse. Timmy, it feels like it, mate. It feels like it. Let's have a look. I don't get the Jack Clark thing, says Graham. Just don't see the value. If he was Premiership, they would come nowhere near Somerville. Yeah, the thing is, Clark is so interesting because he splits opinion. Like, I think he's just an unbelievable ball carrier, an elite level ball carrier. I think he's Premier League in that respect. His finishing is definitely to be desired. I think his 1v1 attacking is superb. Yeah, as I said, the numbers that Clark produces, even last season and this season, he's improving. He is improving. Is that worth 20, 25 million though? 20 to 25 million. That is a lot of money, of which I genuinely believe then we would be hamstrung with adding other players to the squad, especially when the gaffer's talking about 4 permanent signings. So yeah. Tom, maybe I've just answered that, mate. Maybe I've just answered that. We have the money. What excuses? I think the genuine excuse, mate, of not getting Clark would be probably because is he worth that money? Is he worth that money? Jack Clark. That's the question at the minute. Johnny Rowe, I think Johnny Rowe is worth, as we've spoken about, maybe 12 upwards to 15. That I think he's worth that. but that's a push. You know, and I think that's what obviously Marseille will pay, probably less. But is Jack Clark worth? Because they're going to ask for it. Like, I spoke to a guy at the Echo yesterday, and they said that they're going to be pushing 25. Yeah, is he worth that money? And if he is, why hasn't a Prem club come in and paid that money already? And they still might, but yeah, he was very good last season. That's what I'm saying. YNGVE. He's definitely been improving. And I would say that, but is it consistent? Is it consistent? But then I guess you can look at Somerville, can't you? You can look at Somerville and say, well, that wasn't consistent. It was a championship season. So maybe you can apply that. And obviously he's been at, QPR? He's been at Stoke, hasn't he? It didn't work out for him at Spurs. He's only 24 years of age, Jack Clark. So maybe you're investing in potential there. There's definite reasons for it. And I can have a debate with someone on it. I saw KG speak about it the other day, and I agree with him. I like Clark, but there's just an ingredient missing. You know, I spoke to KG about it personally as well. There's something just missing with Clark that I just don't know if I'd spend that sort of money. I'm just not sure. How much is Jack Harrison worth in your opinion? Probably about 10 mil, mate. So that's maybe a conversation there as well. But obviously he's a little bit older, isn't he? Apparently Tottenham have a 50% sell-on clause, Clark, which is why they want so much, which makes sense, doesn't it? And guys, hopefully we're in a completely different position. Hopefully we're in a completely different position to where we are right now. We're beating Sheffield Wednesday, and we'll wait and see. We'll wait and see if we can then get 2 or 3 bodies in. I think we will. Dominic says, Lyle Thomas from Sky Sports is reporting Rowe to Marseille, loan and 13.6 million obligation. See, that's a lot of money. Norwich have done pretty well there, I'd say. They've done pretty well with a year left on his contract. Disappointing. But for what I would say is, I think, keep an eye on Benson. Keep an eye on Benson. That is an interesting one. It feels very gettable. Guys, I'm going to leave it there. There's over 1,800 of you in the building. Please make sure you're slapping a like on the video. We've got the debrief tonight. I'd absolutely love to see you back for the debrief tonight. We've got KG time tomorrow. Got Brownie as well. And then we've got Nancy on Friday or Thursday. It might be actually this week. So obviously Leeds are playing on Friday, but we could do a lunchtime preview. Who knows? Guys, it's been an absolute pleasure as always. We'll be back to the normal studio setup as you saw last week for the video tonight and for later videos this week. Thank you so much for joining. As I say, slap a like on the video. Head on over to the Patreon if you want some bonus bits. You've all missed Gabe. He'll be here tonight, but he's also here on the Patreon as well. Guys, it's been an absolute pleasure. I'll see you in a bit. Cheers.